You don't need to spend $800 to play in 1440p right now. There's some great options right now, and I've found some good deals here, starting with this 3060 12GB card for $269. This is actually not too bad of a value considering this is older, but it does have 12 gigs of VRAM, and this is a capable 1440p card if you aren't looking to max out frame rates at over 100 FPS in every game, and you're willing to play it at lower settings and use things like upscaling and frame gen. Then this card's actually not too bad at $270 for 1440p if you're on a super tight budget. I'll link below to all these parts down in the description. If you do click those links and order anything, it helps support the channel at no extra cost to you, and I greatly appreciate it. Moving on to the next NVIDIA option, we'll get into some AMD here in a minute, which have even better price to performance value. But the next NVIDIA option is the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB card. This comes in at $420 right now, and it is a step up from that 3060 big time. So for another couple $100 or a little under that, really, 420, you can get some pretty solid 1440p performance, and overall it's just a pretty solid card. If you're going to get the 5060 Ti version, I definitely would recommend just getting the 16GB version. Moving on to one of my favorite cards that I'd actually ordered before I decided to get a 5070 Ti, and that's the RTX 5070 12GB card. This one currently $499. This is a very capable 1440p card, even if you want to play higher settings, and it's probably one of the best budget sort of 1440p cards. If you're not talking AMD, you're only talking NVIDIA. I think this is the sweet spot for that price performance for the NVIDIA cards at 1440p. So especially for $499, because usually these run about $550 or $560, something in there. So for $499, this is a very powerful card. And if you're wondering why would I want this at $499 if it only has 12 gigs of VRAM versus the 5060 Ti 16 gigs of VRAM, well, the 5070 is going to have more raw power. So as long as you're not just absolutely cranking up your settings, you're going to get more raw power out of the RTX 5070 over the 5060 Ti 16GB. So yes, the 5070 does have a little less VRAM, but if you're not cranking up your settings to ultra and extreme on everything, overall you're just going to get much better performance out of the 5070 because it's got more raw power. Moving on to the card I recently upgraded to and I've been enjoying, the RTX 5070 Ti has 16 gigs of VRAM. This is currently $750, which I believe is right at the MSRP. I paid $830 for the card I got off Amazon the other day. What am I going to do about it? Nothing. But I wish I would have got this $750 card. Really powerful card, incredible 1440p card. You can probably play 4K on this card if you really wanted, I'm sure as well. If you're willing to spend the money, I think this is overall the best 1440p card that NVIDIA has. I think the 5080 could be considered overkill. It's like $1,200 or 1100, something like that. Maybe at that, you probably get it for like 1,000. But I think this is kind of the best balance of really good performance, very good performance, and the price is manageable. Moving on to our AMD options, which are kind of more exciting because you get a lot of value out of these. These are the ones I would very highly recommend if you're just looking to buy some gaming GPUs for just maximum gaming performance. This first one is the ASRock Challenger RX 9070 XT 16GB version. This is only $599 right now, and it's going to offer very good 1440p performance. If you didn't know, the 9070 XT is pretty comparable to the 5070 Ti, but if you do notice, the price can be much better. So, and the performance can actually be a little better, or even a good bit better in certain titles such as Call of Duty, for instance. I know the AMD cards do really well. So for $599, this is just an incredible 1440p card. We're going to move on to a couple other options. Now that was an ASRock Challenger. A couple other options include the ASRock Steel Legend. This is an all-white card, so if you have an all-white build or you're looking to build one, this could be a very good option. This one's the same card, 9070 XT 16GB, and it does cost $620, so a little bit more, but it is white for one thing, and usually the white parts tend to cost more. But also I think this is just a higher grade of card overall, a little bit better build quality, but generally you're going to have the same performance. And that leads us to our last one, which is this 9070 XT 16GB again. Third one in a row, but this is the Taichi. This one supposedly has boost clock up to 3100 megahertz, which is supposed to be more than the other ones. This is kind of like the top end, like best build quality 9070 XT you can get, and it's only $679. So as far as ASRock 9070 XTs go, I think this is pretty much the best model from what I know. Again, I'll leave a link to all these parts down in the description so you can check them out. All these deals do say they have Black Friday price protection on Newegg, which to my understanding means that these prices in this video should last and hold up even through Black Friday, unless they sell out maybe. So yeah, get yourself a 9070 XT for a really good price performance if you're trying to maximize price performance and you're fine with an AMD graphics card. If you're like me and you have to have NVIDIA for productivity tasks and the better encoder, and you just like the NVIDIA ecosystem a little better, they have DLSS and things like that, then I think the RTX 5070 Ti, $750 is a very good card. But again, if you're on more of a budget, I think the 5070 12 gig at $500 is really good value, and this is probably the one I'd recommend if you have that kind of money to spend, but you don't want to go all the way up to 5070 Ti. I think for an NVIDIA card, this one is very good at $499. Then again, the 5060 Ti, if you want to save even a little bit more money at $420, isn't too bad, although I would recommend the 5070 over it for sure if you can spend the extra 80 bucks. I think it's definitely, like I said earlier, has more raw power, and generally you're just going to get better performance from the 5070 over the 5060 Ti, despite the VRAM difference. And then if you're on a very, very tight budget and you're okay with having a little bit older graphics card, I think this RTX 3060 12 gigabytes of VRAM for $270 really isn't too bad for a budget 1440p capable NVIDIA graphics card. That's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.